Today, the sun is bright, but not as bright as the faces of our dignitaries of our CA profession, present and the speakers of the day. With this, a very good morning to one and all. On behalf of Women Member Empowerment Committee of ICAI, I extend a cordial welcome you all for the today's session on global capacity building initiatives for professionals and special focus on women member international perspective. I, CA Charmisha, co-opted member of Women Empowerment Committee ICAI, give you a cordial welcome. Today, we are here because we have a mutual passion towards our profession. It is said that our passion helps us all to unite, and the energy we create is what allows us to achieve our individual as well as group goals. And our passion is so strong today that we have overcome the national geographical boundaries and have come together. As rightly said by Michelle Obama, there is no limit to what we as women can accomplish. In this present world, it is said that a woman can do everything what a man can do. But from today, let's start a beginning to a world where a man can say that I can do a thing what a woman can. We have a galaxies of wonderful speakers with us this morning, and it is no surprising that this has been possible due to our passionate, dynamic, knowledgeable chairperson of Women Member Empowerment Committee, the only lady member elected as Central Council member of ICAI 2019-2022, CA Camisha Soni. To formally introduce her, she is currently chairperson of Women Member Empowerment Committee ICAI, second year in succession. She is also vice chairperson, Ethical Standard Board. She was in Women Leadership Committee of South Asian Federation of Accountants of SAARC countries 2019-2022 consecutive years. She is also a Deputy Convener, Digital Reengineering and Learning Directorate of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. She has been nominated as member to Distinguished International Forum for Accounting Professions such as Safa committees of SAARC countries on professional ethics and independence and small and medium practices for 2 years in a row from 2016 to 2018, again in the year 2019-20. In 17-18, she was also served as observer of International Ethics Standard Board for Accountants at the prestigious International Federation of Accountants, New York, and currently holds the position of Technical Advisor at IESBA, New York. She was the first woman chairperson of Indore branch, the first woman chairperson 2010-11, and the first woman chairperson of Board of Studies 1920. So may I take the opportunity to welcome CA Camisha Soni. I request CA Camisha Soni to take over the proceedings.
Thank you, Charmi. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, friends. And I welcome you all to one of its kind global webinar organized by Women Member Empowerment Committee of ICAI, especially designed and organized for the benefit of our women members. I hope all of you along with your family members are safe and sound. Today, we are fortunate to have with us eminent presence of our Vice President, Honorable CA Debasis Mitra ji, our past President and Chairman Executive Committee of World Congress of Accountants, IFEC, CA Praful Chhajer ji. We welcome you, sirs, to this webinar, and we will be honored to have a chance to listen to your guidance and words of wisdom. In absentia, our Honorable President Nihar Jambusaria ji, I would also like to welcome him, and our Vice Chairman WMEC, CA Pramod Jain ji, have added meaningful inputs to all our events held till now, and I am sure even today we are going to be benefited with immense knowledge. We also some of the prominent women achievers with us who have made their mark professionally at global level. They are true examples of hard work, grit and determination which can lead women to professional heights. I welcome you all to this webinar and express my gratitude for sparing your time to be with us. Friends, discussion on global capacity building initiatives for professionals is the need of the hour, as today we are faced with unprecedented complex work environment where learn, unlearn, relearn is a crucial aspect. For one of today's sessions, we have distinguished speaker, Ms. Satsuki Miyahara, who is Executive Board Member, JICPA, and also Director of Confederation of Asian and Pacific Accountants, CAPA. She has rich professional experience of over 30 years, making her quite suitable to take session on very pertinent topic, importance of inclusion and diversity practice in accounting firms. Madam, we welcome you. We have very talented Ms. Jill Santos Gladys, Vice President Operation, PICPA, who we are fortunate to host twice, earlier in year 2019 and now. At a very young age, she has grown exceptionally well professionally with her hard work and determination. Along with being successful profession, she is equally well known for her philanthropic activities, which she undertakes through NGO Each One Teach One. Being an entrepreneur herself, she will give us insight on women entrepreneurship role of professional accounting organizations and importance in business sustainability. We welcome you, ma'am. We have among us very inspiring Ms. Yelena Misita, Chairperson IFEC PAO Development and Advisory Group. With her vast experience in professional accounting organization development, she is the apt person to take session on role of women in PAO development and strengthening the accountancy profession. We welcome you, ma'am. We are fortunate to have with us Ms. Maria, Chairperson Safa Women Leadership Committee with us, with whom I have the opportunity to work together at Safa platform. She has been very active professionally and is involved in continuous development of ICAB in various capacity as speaker, faculty, and now as vice president. With her rich experience, she is going to discuss on various capacity building initiatives for women members and Safa perspective. We welcome you, ma'am. And today we are going to relaunch our women portal with some added features. We have tried to modify it as per current requirements and needs of our women members. Do visit it regularly and be informed of our various initiatives that we come up with for you, our valuable members. I am sure all of our dignitaries for today will immensely contribute in enlightening and upskilling of our women members. Now, with this, I would like to take the opportunity to share with you a PowerPoint presentation showcasing the various initiatives taken by WMEC, Women Member Empowerment Committee of ICI. My PPT is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Women Empowerment Committee constituted by the ICI to augment women-centric program and initiatives for making them as mainstream performers at all levels, from corporate leadership to academics to practice. Year 21-22 is marked for women participants as lead performer of mainstream profession. The main purpose of formation of WMEC is to women in a leadership role, be it in practice or corporate scenario. So about the women strength in chartered accountancy profession, as on date, we have 88,475 women chartered accountants, which account for an impressive 27% of the total member base, and also 276,836 girl students, which account for an impressive 42% of total student base. About our Women Member Empowerment Committee theme, the overall theme, as you can see on screen, is Women Empowerment for Inclusive Growth. For overall empowerment and inclusive growth, the participation of women is needed in the economic front too. So women participation in accountancy and commerce certainly enhances the economic status of the nation. And this year we have specifically designed theme for the year 2021-22, Digital Empowerment for Better Tomorrow. Dear members, I am a great believer in the power of technology to make work-life balance better for everybody in the profession. So we have designed this program keeping in mind that we help our members update themselves on the technology front, and for the same we continually design and hold workshops on updating relating to technology and digital world. And focus area for this year, as you can see through this screen, about this year we will be the following, which you can see on screen. Today's challenging time, the Women Member Empowerment Committee of the ICI is constantly making effort to upskill and come out with capacity building initiative for our members. So these are certain areas what we have designed for this year. We have started this success stories of women member. Really, we got an amazing response from the members. Till date, we have received a number of stories from women all over the country. This success story have already been featured on our women portal of ICI. We will also be beginning to make videos for the same. Second, about one of our major initiative is a dedicated women portal, which provides our members a medium through which they can post their requirements and can explore flexi working options available for them. It also aims to provide a common platform to our members to update their knowledge and share their views and concerns. And about the redesign and revised our women portal will be presented by our Vice Chairman Pramod Jain sir shortly. Regarding about our customized training program, we have designed 360-degree learning of core areas of practice for those chartered accountants who want to start their own practice and have taken a break from their career, and those chartered accountants who are in industry and corporate and they want to start their own practice. So we have designed this program, and through this program we are also providing professional opportunity and platform for connecting other CA firms. So this specific design program we have developed, and content of this program is obviously in India, specifically taxations field, accounting standard, auditing standard, Companies Act, corporate law and other ethical code of ethics also. So this is the customized training program we have designed for our female chartered accountant. Next program what we have designed is because of many female CAs are facing so many issues related to work-life balance. This program or work-life balance helps them in honing a multitasking skills by providing tips and help to manage work as well as personal life. Its course content are as what you can see on the screen. These are some screenshot of our programs. About professional opportunity, dear members, with the aim to empower our women member, WMEC covers professional opportunities for women members in each virtual CP meetings, webinar organized by WMEC, and intend to cover around 100 such professional opportunity in diversified field. Till now, we have covered professional opportunity in insolvency, valuation, arbitration, mediation, conciliation, CSR, etc. We are also encouraging entrepreneurship program also, and we have also compiled all professional opportunity in one publication's quick insight book, and this is also uploaded on our women member empowerment portal. And also as part of the initiative of WMEC, we have identified emerging areas for upliftment of women members wherein they can contribute their services to ICI for their professional growth. So our female chartered accountant in India, they can be examiner at ICI, they can be content developer, technical reviewer, content writer, they can be faculty at ICI platform through our various committees. So also that we have already compiled links of that particular committees and directed, and we have uploaded these on our portal. And about the SDG 5, the objective and purpose of creating awareness about the promoting SDG 5 is to emphasize its importance in today's dynamic and challenging economics, and how can accounting bodies contribute towards its achievement in any country. It will also aid in promoting the role of women professionals and their empowerment for achieving overall objective of an organization in sync with economic goals of the country. So we are also representing for SDG 5 also. And finally, second last slide, we have all combined all type of professional opportunity from Government of India, and it has already been uploaded on our portal also. And about this something new about sexual harassment of women at workplace, we have in India one act related to that, Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act 2013. So in India, to deal with the issues of sexual harassment of women at workplace, we have compiled in the form of one brochures all act regulations and about these rules. So we have also uploaded on our women member portal also, and WMEC is also available on social media platform at Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. So our member can connect through this social media platform, so they can get motivational content also, and also important information announcement related to women member initiatives. So now I look forward to working with all of you and invite your ideas to take up more constructive initiatives for the development of our women members, and hope that today's program will leave you more enlightened and knowledgeable. Once again, I welcome you all in this global webinar. With this brief, I will hand over to moderator Charmisha for taking the further proceedings.
Thank you, Kamisha ma'am. A lady with new visions, personality, who has been inspiration and guide to many women CA and extends helping hand to every woman. Ma'am, your vision, support and guidance will surely help our women CA members to scale up new heights. Today, we are very fortunate enough to have with us Vice President ICAI, Dr. C.A. Debasis Mitra, sir, who will be sharing his words of wisdom with us. To formally introduce him, C.A. Dr. Debasis Mitra, with his unelectment, has been elected as a Vice President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India for the year 21-22. Currently, he is serving his second consecutive term in the Council. Academically erudite, he is a senior practicing member, a cost accountant, company secretary, law graduate, and a qualified information system auditor. With his keen interest in academic research, he has also attained doctorate. On the international front, he was the chairman of the Committee on Education, Training and CPD of South Asian Federation of Accountants and member of Audit Group of Federation, Confederation of Asian and Pacific Accountants, that is Carta. He has also served as a member of the Safa Committee on Auditing Standards and Quality Control. He has held several positions at ICAI. He has been former national president of the Institute of Internal Auditors India. With this brief introduction, I request Vice President Sir to share his view. Welcome, sir.
Before Vice President Sir, just I would like to recognize the presence of our Honorable President ICI, Nihar and Jambusaria ji. Sir, we welcome you in this webinar.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Charmi, for the kind words. The president of ICI has, and then the past president, Soni, my council colleague, Pramod Jain, my council colleague, and the beautiful ladies who I see on the screen, Jelena, Maria, Satsuki, Jill, and to everybody else here, good morning from India and good day to all of you. I am very happy to note that the Institute is organizing this program for capacity building of the women members. And when Kimisha Soni, my council colleague, was telling all of you about the Institute, you see, let me just add a few words that we are the second largest accounting body in the world. And you see, when she says that 27% of our membership are women and 42% of our students are ladies, we are extremely proud of that statistics. At the Institute, we are doing everything possible to see that the women members and students, they get the maximum encouragement, they get maximum support from the infrastructure of the Institute and from the leadership of the Institute. I was very efforts that the committee led by Kemisha is putting up for enhancement of the skills of the women members and also to further enhance the opportunities, the professional opportunities for women members. Just before this meeting, I was in a meeting of the triple IPI. Where we encourage or have programs from the insolvency professionals. And there I was just encouraging the lady members that they should take up these newer areas like insolvency. You can be an insolvency professional. I was encouraging there. I can see Pramod Jain on the screen. He's the vice chairman of the committee, but he's also very good in corporate laws. And Pramod Jain, I can see him smiling. He will agree with me that in the Companies Act, in the Indian Companies Act today says that for certain categories of companies, you need to have women directors. So even in the Indian corporate governance system, this idea that women should play a very important role in corporate governance has been duly embedded. At the Institute, we have just recently, introduced this network guidelines. So what we do is this: we want that smaller firms should come together and form a network so that they can provide, services which could be of a bigger scale, and they are successful in providing these services. So what we are encouraging is this: that the small firms may be run by women proprietors or having women partners, they can get together, form a network so that they can really come in the forefront of providing services. So we are trying our best to do this. I can see Praful Chajerji on the screen. Under his leadership and of course with Kemisha Soni, we are trying to see that the ethical aspects of the profession are never forgotten, not only by the women members but also by the male members. To us, integrity, independence and excellence are three words which are extremely important. And the Ethical Standards Board is doing everything needful to ensure that all our membership, including the women members, get the best in ethical standards in the world. So we are so much the women members, that 27% that Kemisha was talking about, are all committed to ensuring that the ethical standards are duly complied with. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of India has presence in 68 cities of the world from 45 countries. We have 40 chapters abroad. The other day, I and the president had the pleasure of inaugurating two of our chapters in Europe, Helsinki and Munich. And to our surprise, not to our surprise, but to our great pleasure, we found that in the case of both the chapters, the leadership role was being played by the lady chartered accountants. So we have, lady chartered accountants abroad, about 40,000 of our membership are abroad. And in this also, the lady chartered accountants, they play such an important role. So at the Institute, we are all committed to the growth of our women members, and we want that the women members of our profession and the women members, the women chartered accountants all over the world should get a rightful place in the scheme of things, and should also play a very important role as a partner in nation building. With these words, I once again thank the committee for having invited me here, and I wish this program the very best. Thank you very much.
Maybe she's having some issues. I'll say a bit forward.
Yeah. I would request.
Chami, get it corrected by that time. And namaste to all. Honorable and respected President of ICI, sir. Honorable Vice President CA, Dr. Debasis Mitra ji, our past President and my first President, CA Praful Chajer ji, the Chairperson of the Women Members Empowerment Committee of ICI, CA Kimisha Soni ji, all the four great speakers today, the leaders in their own country, Satsuki from Japan, Jill from Philippines, Jelena ji from IFAC, and Safa Chairperson for the Women Committee, Maria ji. In fact, this Women Members Empowerment Committee has been doing a great job in this year as well as the past few years. And the series of updating our members, this program also is there for capacity building from the international perspective. So we are having the leaders of various countries, Japan, Philippines, and other countries, to address the members. And I'm just happy to share that currently we are having more than 1,000 members throughout the world attending it. Apart from all parts of India, we're having members from US, France, New Zealand, Singapore, Sri Lanka, Japan, Netherlands, UAE, Muscat, Nepal, UK, South Korea. So all parts of the world are witnessing this program. I'm hoping that this program would be a great learning process for everyone. And just our Honorable President, just to introduce a very small way. You know, I have been knowing our Honorable President in my first term of in this council, where I was his vice chair, where he was the chairman of the International Tax Committee on the International Tax of ICI. So a great person with a great knowledge on international tax, Ind AS, as well as a great down to the earth person and very humble with a good sense of humor too. I really welcome you, Honorable President, sir. And one of the initiatives which our chairperson told about the revamped website of ICI, the new features therein, which would be dedicated to the members today by our Honorable President. So I'll request our Honorable President to give his keynote address today and also inaugurate this revamped website. Over to you, President, sir.
Thank you, Pramodji. The Vice President of the Institute, CA Dr. Debasis Mitra, past President of the Institute, and our friend, philosopher and guide in the council, CA Praful Chajer, Kemisa ji, Pramod ji, the speakers from across the world, Tokyo, Philippines, and other parts of the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I think in Tokyo, but Philippines and other countries I have not checked. So, but thanks to this virtual mode of interacting, that whatever be the time zone, whatever be the area in which we are stationed, we are able to communicate and really share our knowledge and collaborate in our efforts to share knowledge and take the profession forward. When this particular webinar is dedicated to global capacity building initiatives, I think let us go back to some years back when we felt that women have some disabilities and they are not able to run around and take up some jobs. Now the time has come when everything is become virtual, seamless, and you can do any activity from any part of the world. I will not say any part of India, but any part of the world. Time has come when women don't have to worry about any other limitations that they may have. They can operate from anywhere, even from home. They can render services which anybody running around in different parts of the world can render. So that is one natural help that has come from technology. And I think every woman must grab this opportunity and start working from anywhere in the world. If I talk about this committee relentlessly works for the benefit of women and help them and hold them in so many initiatives of the Institute, particularly in the presentation that was made by Kemisaji, the SDG 5, Gender Equality in Sustainability. Our institute has set up a separate sustainability reporting standards board. I think this one SDG, Women Empowerment Committee, can take a responsibility of and deliver from here. So that much responsibility of SRSB will be reduced, and you are doing it well to bring about the awareness and do everything for bringing gender equality. We have 2 other council members, including a past president, to help her in this initiative, and I am sure that the committee will do well to promote this SDG in India. Even Vice President talked about independent director opportunity. Another, networking is for everybody. And see, time has come where any firm of chartered accountants, whether led by women or led by men, has to grow in size if you want to give bouquet of services. Take several examples, like take a single example of insolvency law. If you want to practice this, in India you require services of a company secretary, even cost accountant, advocate, engineer, architect. And if you want to really run this practice effectively, then you require multidisciplinary partnership. The council has cleared all rules for multidisciplinary partnership. I understand form number 18 is pending with MCA, and as soon as it is approved, you can start registering MDP and take advantage of multidisciplinary partnership also. So networking guidelines and MDP, both will be useful to you to grow big. And individually, it is very difficult to practice some areas in which a chartered accountant may indulge. And particularly at a time when we have shifted our focus from audit service provider to business solution provider, we need to grow big. And I am sure this committee will do well to encourage women also to grow big and not practice in silo in proprietary concerns. Particularly today, this portal which is being relaunched with many additional features and which is supposed to provide opportunity to women to register here and offer their professional services, and any firm or corporate who wants to avail these services, they can also register, interact with each other, and this portal will be for win-win, will be a win-win situation for both the sides. And with relaunched portal with additional features, it will help women to a great extent. So it's a great pleasure to be a part of this webinar where you are taking up global capacity building and at the same time relaunching the portal with added features. It's a pleasure to be part of it, and please tell us what Institute can do in addition to whatever is being done by the committee. We are all at your beck and call to help you in any manner you require. Thank you so much.
This is the website which President Sir has dedicated to the whole women, specifically for the women's members, where the resources are there for job seekers as well as employers. So currently, if you see the latest jobs which are there, it would be available out here. And also links to various ICICA Benevolent Fund, Women and Child Development Ministry, Startup India, Digital Learning Hub, all are available, and various other initiatives by the WMEC would be updated on the later on a regular basis. So insight from independent directors, again, very good updation out there which is going on. Thank you very much, President Sir, for relaunching this revamped website of WMEC for the benefit of members. I really thank you from the core of my heart, from the whole, on behalf of the WMEC, your Honorable President as well as Vice President, Sir, for sparing your invaluable time and addressing the women members throughout the world and enriching their knowledge. Thank you, both of them.
Congratulations, and this website is now open for you to use it with immediate effect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hearty congratulations and all the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Over to Charmi.
Before starting the session, I will put on record, thank you, President Sir, Vice President Sir, and Pramod Sir to guide us. Women are leaders everywhere. You look from CEO who runs a Fortune 500 company to the housewife who raises her children and herds her household. Our country was built by strong women, and we will continue to break down walls and defy stereotypes. Today, we have with us such 4 strong women with us who have infinite the geographical limits to guide and empower us. I, on behalf of ICCI, take this pleasure to welcome our speakers for the day, Satsuki Miyahara, Gabriel Jill Santos, Elena Misita, and Maria Hollauder. Moving on to the first session on importance of inclusion and diversity practice in accounting firm by Ms. Satsuki Miyahara. To formally introduce her, she is Executive Board Member, International Affairs, the Japanese Institute of Certified Public Accountants, in charge of International Affairs since July 2019, and has taken over the role of Director of Safa from August 2019 till date. She has to her affiliation KPMG Co-Chairman, Women Corporate Director, Japan Chapter 2017 till date. She is also an audit partner of KPMG AZSA LLC. With this brief introduction, I request Satsuki Madam to please take over the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I am Satsuki Miyahara. Thank you for the introduction. I'm from Japan, and I would like to thank you for this opportunity to share with you our experience and some of our strategies going forward with regards to diversity and inclusion at an accounting firm in Japan. I would like to share my screen. I'm not sure if I can do this right, but I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, we're able to see it.
Okay, thank you. So, just to introduce myself, I am an executive board member of JSCPA, director of Kappa, KPMG audit partner. I also have another role as KPMG Japan head of inclusion and diversity. And outside of my professional career, I live in Tokyo with my husband, my two sons who are college students, and also my father-in-law. So that's kind of who I am. Before going on to the main theme, which is diversity and inclusion in an accounting firm, I would like to give you some background information on Japan as a whole and JICPA in terms of diversity, focusing on empowerment of women. So Japan's is an aging society where the labor population is shrinking. So the Japanese government has been taking measures that support existing and potential working mothers, among other things. However, Japan ranks 121st out of 153 countries in the Global Gender Gap Index by the World Economic Forum. This is a very disappointing number. The two areas where Japan is lagging far behind are political representation and economic gender gap. In the business world, only 15% of senior and leadership positions are held by women, and income for women in Japan is about half that of men on average. As for the CPA profession, the number of females sitting for the CPA exam is relatively small, and I will show you the numbers in just a moment. In addition, after entering the profession and working for some years, a portion of them find it difficult to balance work and family life, and they deregister their qualification, which usually does not happen for men. In order to change this situation, JICPA began taking actions several years ago, and these initiatives were accelerated by the former president and chairperson of JICPA, Aiko Sekine, who was the first woman to hold this position. Okay, this slide shows the progress that we have made since then. In 2016, the percentage of women within the number of people passing the CPA exam was only 21.3%. And this was about the same when I entered the profession 30 years ago. So it was always around 20%. But it has now grown to almost 25% in 2020. And as for the CPA registrants, the ratio has increased from 13.7% to 14.5%. By the way, this slide also shows comparable figures for other professions such as doctors, lawyers, and tax accountants. And you can see that the low percentage of women is a common issue. Okay, how did JICPA get here anyway? In 2017, JICPA established a Council for Active Promotion of Women CPAs. Current activities include holding events for female students and workshops for female accountants. And these are organized and coordinated with local chapters throughout Japan. Also, JICPA has set targets regarding women CPAs, and the Council monitors these KPIs. We are aiming at, number one, increasing the percentage of women passing the CPA exam to 30% by 2030. And number two, increasing the ratio of female members and associate members to 30% by 2048. And this is the year that marks the 100th anniversary of CPA system in Japan. And so far, we are expecting that these targets can be achieved. So this is where we are right now. We are making progress, but the change is very slow and there is much more that needs to be done. So now let's think about what we can do in an accounting firm. In terms of communicating the firm's strategy, in KPMG, we use the term inclusion and diversity, where inclusion comes first. This is because diversity is simply talking about the demographics that the workforce is comprised of different types of people. That is not what we are aiming at, and we need an inclusive organizational culture as the basis. So what is an inclusive workplace? It is where everyone feels that they belong. You can bring your whole self to work. You feel that it is safe to be your true self, and it is okay to speak up when you have something in your mind because your voice is always heard. There is empathy among the team. You are eager to listen to each other. With this kind of atmosphere, people are motivated, more confident, and as a result, are more productive and are able to come up with innovative ideas. This leads to providing high-quality services to clients. So why diversity and inclusion is important for an accounting firm? First of all, it's for attracting talent. Recent trends suggest that the younger generation prefer to work for employers that can demonstrate greater diversity. In an aging society where the labor population is shrinking, you would need to showcase a working environment that supports diversity to attract young, best talent. And number two is for retaining the people. In Japan, accounting firms basically hire staff after they have passed the CPA exam. But even so, much effort is required to practically train the young professionals. Retaining the best talent is key in terms of continuing its services and growing its business for accounting firms. And the third is producing quality work. In a world where digital transformation is a must, even for accounting firms, and firms are expected to be specialists of not only financial statements, but other types of reporting, such as non-financial information in sustainability reporting. Accounting firms are hiring not only CPAs, but more specialists with various different backgrounds. We need an inclusive atmosphere where different ideas and active discussions are encouraged for innovative ideas to come up and best decisions are made. And in case of auditors, in order to exercise professional skepticism as a team, again, inclusion is the key. First of all, a staff needs to be motivated, alert, and thinking very well to perform meaningful audit procedures and discover irregularities. It should not be going through ticking the box exercises in a tired state of mind. Also, for example, let's assume that a team member discovers an exception in the accounting record and thinks that it may be an indication of fraud, but is not sure about that. He or she may be reluctant to speak up unless there is this atmosphere where everyone's voice is heard. If the partner or the manager is always busy, and puts too much priority in getting the work done on schedule, or is reluctant to listen, it is likely that the issue is never discussed among the team members and is overlooked for years. When the issue is finally identified by someone other than the auditor, and the amount of the fraudulent transaction had built up, the firm is likely to be in a huge trouble. Okay. Some key points in achieving diversity and inclusion in a professional firm. First of all, tone at the top is required to set the atmosphere of the organization. In addition to the leader addressing the importance of diversity and inclusion in formal messages, it would be very effective if he or she shows understanding and empathy when having casual conversations or in dealing with everyday business matters. So for us working in this area, taking time to provide input on diversity and inclusion topics to the leaders from time to time is very much worth it. Also, inclusive leadership is something that we would like to see not only at the top management level. It is everyone's business. The first step is this is very simple, but to know each other. In these days, where most communications are just online, it is somewhat difficult because we cannot have a drink after work, nor chat in the coffee room or in the hallways. So, implementing structures for communications, such as online sessions over lunch, or making small group gatherings for people with common interests outside of work. These small tips have proven to work well. For an organization that provides professional services such as an accounting firm, you need to be trusted from the client. And when working as a team, trust among the team members is important to maintain the quality of work. Another aspect is making sure that minority groups, and this includes women, get represented not just at an appropriate ratio in the entire workforce, but also at different levels of seniority, such as managers, partners, and the leadership team. This does not happen in a year or two because you need to strengthen the pipeline. But making continuous efforts and showing it to the people at the same time is helpful for wider acknowledgement. One thing to keep in mind is that representation of minority groups at different levels is not only beneficial in terms of building confidence within those minority employees, but it leads to making better decisions. Different perspectives are considered for decision-making at various levels, such as individual teams, divisions, service groups, or at the firm level. After all, an inclusive culture that values diversity leads to better decision-making, drives greater creativity and innovation, better meets the needs of our clients, and is more motivating for our people. In concluding my presentation, I am hoping that there comes a day when no one talks about empowering women anymore, and older people, which will be us, recall of those days when this was a hot issue with a smile of victory. Thank you very much for listening.
As it is rightly said, leave nothing for tomorrow which can be done today. Thank you, ma'am, for your words of wisdom, and it will be surely followed by many in their endeavors to contribute more. Please accept our heartfelt gratitude for sparing your valuable time for our members and making us aware on diversity practice in accounting firms. Today, our members feel blessed and inspired by your words of wisdom. Thank you again, ma'am. Moving on to our second session on importance of women entrepreneurship, role of professional accounting organization and importance in business sustainability. We have with us Ms. Gadrez Jill Santos. I take the pleasure to formally introduce her. She has to his accolades the following officership. She is an executive committee member of DFA International Asia Pacific 1920, National Vice President for Operation 2021 for Philippine Institute Certified Business Public Accountants, that's CAPA 2021, and Vice President Associates of PPA in Public Practice, past Club Treasurer, Rotary International RC West CDU, past Chapter Secretary, Government Association of CPAs, GAPP, past Regional Treasurer, Association of Communicators. Presently, she is the President CEO at the NCBPO Industry, PESA Global City. She is a president at Teach One Foundation Industry at Gayayan de Oro City. She is also a founder CEO at JSG and Company at Benifacio Global City, Makati City, Cebu City, Devoco City, Cayada de Oro City. She has won several awards and recognition like Asian Woman Entrepreneur in year 2019 by Thailand's Ministry of Social Development and Human Security and Asian Women Entrepreneur Network. She has also professional licenses for CPA, real estate broker and real estate appraiser. With this brief introduction, I request ma'am to take over the session.
Thank you very much, Charmy ma'am, for that very kind introduction. To the dignitaries in this webinar platform, friends, my fellow speakers, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Let me start my talk by expressing my heartfelt gratitude for ICAI for this opportunity to be one of your speakers today. Having been lined up with high caliber speakers in this webinar platform is by itself an honor to me. I remember I was speaking before an audience of chartered accountants, mostly women, 2 years ago in Delhi and in Agra. I was completely overwhelmed by the enthusiasm and dedication of women accountants in India in advancing towards a better and greater versions of themselves. I salute you. Special mention to the Kamisha Soni for spearheading the WIMIC committee. And I thank you for having me this afternoon. May I request Shano to please share my slides? I emailed it earlier. Shana?
Is it okay?
Yeah. We can put on the bigger slide for the first one. Slideshow.
Is it okay now?
No. Sorry. Yeah, that one. Thank you. All right. Next slide, please. So I'm tasked today to present to you Women Entrepreneurship, Role of Professional Accounting Organization, and Importance in Business Sustainability. Key highlights of my presentation or my discussion this afternoon would be the following. I'll speak a bit on introduction and then on women entrepreneurship and enabling laws in the Philippines, and the women entrepreneurship landscape in the Philippines before I moved and jumped forward on PICPA, which is the Philippine Institute of Certified Public Accountants, the professional accounting organization in the Philippines, and its initiatives on women entrepreneurship. And last but not the least, on the importance in business sustainability. Let me start with an inspiration with this statement that there is no force more powerful than a woman determined to rise. We have a common goal and we have a common purpose why we are all gathered here today. And that is we as women, we want to rise together. And so by way of introduction, I'd like to share with you Philippine settings on as far as women entrepreneurship is concerned. Women entrepreneurship leads to innovation, employment generation, value creation, and people development. Concrete manifestations of entrepreneurship are small and medium-sized enterprise, which is a backbone of the national economies in countries like my country, Philippines. The development of the SME sector is essential for sustainable development and economic growth. And I'd like to share with you this information that in the Philippines, women constitute approximately 50% of our entire population of 111 million people and have a very significant role to play in the social, cultural, and economic spheres of the society. Filipina or women entrepreneurs in particular make a substantial contribution to national economies through our participation in startups and in our growth in the informal sector. In achieving sustainable and competitive growth in business, women are now stepping forward beyond being just consumers and industry leaders of the entrepreneurs. Hold in a moment, maybe I can just share my slides, sorry, so I can control.
Should I stop my screen share?
Slide prior to this, please. On number 1 on introduction, please. Apologies for that. So in my country, women-owned SMEs or small and medium enterprises are growing at a faster rate than the economy as a whole. The increased flexibility inherent in owning one's business allows women to contribute to the income of their families while balancing work and family responsibilities, enhancing social cohesion, and in giving educated and trained women an outlet where they could capitalize on their skills without the glass ceiling roadblock in corporate advancement. The resulting economic independence also reduces disparities between men and women in the Philippines, leading to a more active and representative role of women in economic and political life. Next slide, please. I'd like to share with you women entrepreneurship and enabling laws in the Philippines. We are backed by Civil, Labor, and Family Code. We have a law that speaks on women in development and nation building act. We also have Magna Carta law and the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform law. And let me share you some tidbits of this enabling law supporting women entrepreneurship in the Philippines. Since 2006, the Global Gender Gap Report by the World Economic Forum has measured gaps between men and women based on 4 key indicators: economic participation and opportunity, health and survival, educational attainment, and political empowerment. And I'm happy and proud to say that the Philippines has ranked the 17th among the 156 countries in the Global Gender Gap Report of 2021 of the World Economic Forum. But specifically in Asia-Pacific region, the Philippines placed second next to New Zealand. Preliminary evidence suggests that the COVID-19 crisis and the related economic downturn have impacted women more severely than men, partially reopening gaps that had already been closed. It's worth noting that last year we were on the 16th in the rank and we fall down in one notch. Now we're in the 17th. My country, the Philippines, has enacted a number of laws that supports women economic agency. These include portions of the Labor Code, the Women in Development and Nation Building Act, and that act promotes the integration of women as full and equal to men, and the Magna Carta for Women and Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law. The Labor Code of the Philippines, specifically Article 3, states that the state shall afford protection to labor, promote full employment, ensure equal work opportunities regardless of sex, race, or creed, and regulate the relations between workers and employers. The state shall assure the right of workers to self-organization, collective bargaining, security of tenure, and just and humane conditions of work. However, there's a research that found out that women entrepreneurs face constraints that men do not in my country, and that includes limited access to capital and credit due to lack of collateral, lack of information and time constraint imposed by domestic obligations, women being wives and mothers to children, and to some extent, there's a bit still of a discrimination in the workplace. Another enabling law, which is the Women in Development and Nation Building Act, is aimed to promoting women as equal to men and expressly confirms that women have the same capacity to enter into contracts as men. Yet, many banks prefer the signature or consent of the husband in financial transactions, and some still demand that the male partner co-sign in any financial concerns or any financial contracts. The Magna Carta law of women guarantees the civil, political, and economic rights of women in the marginalized sectors. It mandates the government offices, including government-owned and controlled corporations and local government units in the Philippines, to adopt gender mainstreaming as strategy for implementing the laws, attaining its objective. Another law, which is the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law, provides that all qualified women members of the agricultural labor force must be guaranteed and assured equal rights to land ownership. Yet, men are perceived as the primary landowners despite several initiatives to institute land reforms. In addition, within the Muslim community in the Philippines, because we know for a fact that we have a number of Muslim people in the country, family relations are governed by the Code of Muslim Personal Laws, and Article 36 of that code requires views to obtain the husband's consent to acquire property and use of land during the course of marriage. Though there are no legal obstacles for women, getting a loan can also prove challenging. This is particularly true where banks require borrowers to pledge their home as a collateral, and women who tend to lack such assets are placed as a disadvantageous position because by then, women or wives have to secure confirmation from the husband. And there is at least instance of the prevailing marital arrangement limiting women's rights, and there are generally no restrictions on who can be a guarantor in case of a married woman. Another provisions of our enabling law is on the Civil Code, and there's a note that I'd like to share with you, interestingly, that the Philippines is the only country in the world other than the Vatican City where divorce is not legal. We don't have divorce in the Philippines, we only have civil annulment. The civil annulment, however, is a very long and tedious process where each party must show the psychological incapacity to perform the obligation of marriage. and if that is granted, renders the marriage void from the start, even if children were born from the union. Any major purchase made would be considered conjugal property, and in reference to ownership of real or movable property, Article 96 of the Family Code states that in case of disagreement, the husband's decision shall prevail. Although the Philippines performs well on most highly level indicators of gender equality, deeper investigation reveals that many women still in the Philippines are succeeding in the face of significant constraints imposed by prevailing social norms and, as presented earlier, imposed by enabling laws. Now let me take you to women entrepreneurship landscape in the Philippines. Next slide, please. As it can be seen in the slides, we have here a presentation where female versus male entrepreneurs in the Philippines. As you can see that the graph shows the share of respondents to the Future of Business survey that selected each category when answering multiple choice questions on entrepreneurial motivations, financing, and learning. Responses, though, in this survey or in this study were made in December of 2017 and January of 2018 from business owners whose company's digital presence include a Facebook page at the same time. Now, as I earlier mentioned on the enabling laws, interestingly, this confirms the study or the result of this study, where when you can see that while there are a lot of women entrepreneurs in the country, the answers as to questions on why did they start their business would range from women would normally have the highest yes answer that the reason why they're doing into business is to have a source of income. And they have the same score when answering to make some more money and to pursue an interest or hobby and also to be more independent. But in terms of having a business or an entrepreneurial spirit of having this kind of a business for purposes of having work-life balance, men relatively have the higher confirmation as compared to women. But interestingly, as to sources of financing, where the men or women source their business when they started, you can see here, across the board, it's always the men having the high scores, but in terms of spousal funding as a source of in starting the business, women generally have a higher score because, again, limitations in the Philippines, while women are empowered in terms of credit ratings or securing of loans or having seed fund money with collaterals on property, to some extent, women in the Philippines have limitations. There are about 900,000 registered enterprises in the Philippines, and estimated 10% of this. Can you please show this next screen, please? And in terms of business size landscape in the Philippines, less than 1% would be the medium enterprise. Another less than 1% would be the large enterprise, and 10% coming from small enterprise, while the 90% of the majority chunk comes from the 90% will be coming from the micro enterprise. And there are about 900,000 registered enterprises in the Philippines, and while SMEs have grown, small organizations tend to employ fewer people. The collective contributions of SMEs to employment in the country is very, very significant, and that's well recognized. And in fact, SMEs accounted for around 32% of the jobs in the Philippines, whereas the 38% are coming from the large enterprise. Next slide, please. And when we speak of women SMEs in the Philippines, we normally refer to businesses where 51% of ownership is held by a woman or women, and that where 20% of ownership is held by a woman or women, when a woman holds a major leadership position in the company, such as but not limited to being a CEO or president or vice president, and where 30% of the board of directors is composed of women. If these fall within the criteria, we tag them as women SMEs. And based on the available data, it is estimated that there are around 28,000 women SMEs in the Philippines, comprising around 1/4 of the entire SMEs in the country. And study shows that what women SMEs tend to employ more women than business run by men, and therefore there is a potential that an increasing number of women entrepreneurs in the Philippines will have an added effect of increasing the rate of paid employment among women. And let's face the reality. Myself as a woman entrepreneur, I am more likely to hire women employees in my company, and that holds true with the other women entrepreneurs in my country. Now, let me proceed to the PICPA initiatives on women entrepreneurship. I think this is the very key in here. I was just giving you a briefer as to, at a macro level, as to how women fare in the Philippines. And now on PICPA being our professional accounting organization in the Philippines, the initiatives of on women membership. I'd like to share that the professional accounting organization, PICPA, was founded in 1921 and is the accredited professional accountancy organization of the Professional Regulation Commission. Membership of PICPA in the Philippines is mandatory, and we have a lot of support system or support offices around the country. The very primary responsibility of PICPA is to promote and maintain high professional ethical standards among accountants in compliance to Code of Ethics, developing and improving accountancy education, protecting CPA designation, carrying the fact-finding component of investigation and the delegation made by the Professional Regulation Commission. To some extent, we have a PICPA ethics board in the APO itself. And then worth noting in the Philippines, because I get to study a lot of in a lot of countries how the accountancy profession are being laid down, and in the Philippines, PICPA as an umbrella organization, we have 4 sectors down under. So we are categorized into 4 different sectors. So for women, for CPAs who are into public practice, like the ones in the big firms, medium and small firms, we call them CPAs in public practice. And for CPAs who are into the CEOs, CFOs in the business industry, we call them CPAs in commerce and industry. We also have another sector for CPAs who are teaching, and we call them CPAs in education. And then the last but not the least are CPAs who are in the government service, and we call them CPAs in government practice or in a government service. Our theme for this year for PICPA is our banner theme, Filipino CPAs Rising in Solidarity Amidst Challenging Times. Is a befitting theme for this year amidst COVID-19. And I'm happy to share with you in the next slide our key various programs in promoting women entrepreneurship in PICPA. I'd like to share the top 3. Number 1 would be the holding of annual Women's Summit event. Number 2 is the capacity building strategies. And number 3 is the Big Sister Support Program on women in public practice. I'd like to take credence that my invitation talk last April 2019 in India, I was with Kimi. I learned about Women Member Empowerment Committee, and I brought that knowledge coming home to the Philippines. And so I was the founding chairperson of the same committee in the Philippines. So we have now the version, and see the beauty how women supports each other and how women rise together. Because the learning that I got from India when I was there, I brought it to the Philippines. And last year, we had a very big event we conducted in celebration of a World Women's Month. We conducted the first PICPA annual summit, and where we gathered the brightest and the highest caliber women leaders in the country in different fields, be it in the political arena, in government service, and in private service. On capacity building, we collaborate projects with the government. So in the advent of COVID-19, we conduct a lot of webinar series where we teach women CPAs like urban vegetable and ornamental plants for those who would want to jump in and do business. We also teach women CPAs on culinary skills and pastry demonstrations. And I tell you, we had overwhelming attendance of these women CPAs now trying to explore possibilities of building business on their own. On the Big Sister support program on practice of profession, I'd like to take credence on the big 4 auditing firms in my country. The CPAs in public practice, where I'll be the incoming national president come January of 2022. So we have this project where the big firms are mentoring, or they're like big sisters to small sisters, lady practitioners like me coming from a small firm or a medium firm. And we do this basically on technical aspect of handling or running the firm in the accountancy practice. Now, on the last slide, which is on the importance of business sustainability. Business sustainability, we all agree, is very important. A sustainable business, or what we call a green business, is an enterprise that has minimal negative impact or potentially positive impact on the global and local environment, community, society, or an economy. And so to speak, when we speak about business sustainability, we cannot help but think of the triple bottom line of every business, where we say people, planet, and profit. As Kimisha was earlier saying, I myself being an entrepreneur, I myself being a founder of a foundation, I made sure that in every business endeavors that I go through and I dive into, there's always a share where where myself and the organization can be very relevant to the society as a whole in aid of nation building. Now, on a personal note, let me share to you my story on how PICPA, the professional accounting organization, has played a vital role in molding me towards my personal journey to becoming an entrepreneur. Say, back in 2009, when I was the chapter president of the PICPA down south of the Philippines, I was yet connected with the government. I was then in the sector of CPAs working in government. And because of my active participation with all the activities of the PICPA, it's where I came to know that there is such a world as CPAs in public practice. And from then on, when I get to have fellow officers in the institute at the chapter level, where I get to be convinced that there's life after or outside the government service, that I can be and I can try putting up my own company by doing a practice of my own in my CPA license. And so that started it. And then almost 12 years now, the firm that I have started, a women founded firm, because I tell you, in the Philippines, even if women are empowered, it's still a male dominated industry in the Philippines. So, and history continues, and the rest is history, where to date I have 5 offices around the country, and where my firm is the member firm of an international organization with 430 member firms with 500 offices in 96 countries worldwide. This is not to brag, but this is to inspire you that no matter how small you are and where you start, because I am a provincial lady, I came down south of the Philippines, and I've come into my practice in the capital city of Manila, and where I am now speaking before you today. And so to close my talk, I would like to share with you as a key takeaway that for women aspiring to become entrepreneurs, always remember that coming from your shell to start your own business, to take a bold move, is one move that you will never forget. Always remember that in women entrepreneurship, you will never lose. It would only be either you will win or you will learn. And let me end by expressing my big congratulations to men and women behind the success of this webinar. And I thank you again for having me here, and looking forward later when you threw some questions, and I would gladly answer those. Thank you. Back to you, Madam MC.
Your journey is really inspiring, ma'am. The questions we will ask after all our speakers have completed their session. Thank you for making us aware for all the Philippine laws for the women. Wish you all luck for the PICPA event next year. And also, it's said that the best way to predict future is to create one. Thank you, Madam, for enlightening our members and guiding them. The way you explained the intricacies, surely each woman and each participant would follow the same journey with confidence and encouragement. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Moving on to the next segment. For the first time, India has got the opportunity and privilege to host the 21st World Congress of Accountants 2022. It's honor for India, Indians, and the ICAI. Today, we are also privileged to have with us in this webinar Chairman, Executive Committee, World Congress of Accountants, CA Prafulla Jhaji, to share his views. To formally introduce him, CA Prafulla Jhaji sir is a past President ICAI 2019-20 and is presently Chairman Executive Committee of World Congress of Accountants IPAC Board. He is also a board member, director board member of CAPA and a member of Professional Organization Development Group of IPAC. I take the pleasure to invite CA Prafulla Jhaji sir. A warm welcome, sir. Sir, may I request you to ignite our audience with your thoughts and views.
Thank you so much. Compliments to my two distinguished council, Kimisha ji, the chairperson, Pramod Bhai, the vice chairperson of this Women Members Empowerment Committee, the four distinguished, our special guests who are with us to enlighten what is happening across the globe, especially with respect to the women members. We just heard Ms. Satsuki. She is from Japan, and you can understand when she was giving the statistics where, in a country like Japan where women are not coming to the forefront, she with her efforts, with her knowledge, actually now contributing not only in the Japan Institute of CPA, but also at the global level. She is a fellow board member with me in the CAPA, and I always, look forward for various suggestions that gives, for this entire regional bodies. So thank you, Satsuki, for being here. We recently heard now the Jill also, again, very, I can say a young girl, but with lot of dreams, lot of ambition. And last time when she was in India, we could heard her story that from a single person from her family, the first maybe a CPA or chartered accountant, she has actually built the network of the chartered accountants under her firm, and now doing great. And also she has taken the leadership position by becoming the vice president of the Philippines Institute. Now very soon we are going to hear Elena. I can tell you I'll quickly complete. So I was talking about the leadership position. So Elena, with her as a role as the chairperson of the PODG, the very important group of the IFAC. In fact, not only she is empowering the various the individuals, but she has the responsibility of overseeing what is happening across the globe in the profession. So actually, she is one resource she knows in the entire globe, which institute is doing well, not doing well, which institute requires a lot of support in terms of capacity building, etc. So it is always great to have, Elena on this particular platform, because is a really inspiring journey. And when friends, we are having people from the, Japan, which is again advanced country. We are having people from the Europe, how our SARC country, SARC region can be behind. And today we have the Maria, who is the chairperson of the Safa Women Empowerment Committee. The same role I think Kimisha Oji was handling, maybe last year or a year before that. So my only limited point why I am here, because last time when I was the president 2 years before, I used to meet so many female chartered accountants, and many times I used to feel that they got tremendous knowledge, they got fantastic academic scores, but when it comes to executions, probably they are not into that particular forefront that, okay sir, I'll start my practice, okay sir, let me take some entrepreneurial journey, okay sir, let me take up the corporate job, etc. But I think the efforts of the WMEC will definitely help each one of you to become the future leader. And before I close, as it is mentioned, in the year 2022 November, we are going to, the ICI is going to host the World Congress of Accountants, and I look forward for a lot of support from each and every my women member chartered accountant who is in India. All to for the dignitaries who are here, let me also tell you, we got, as our president and vice president was telling, we got many international chapters, and they are headed by so many women Indian chartered accountants globally. And also in India, we got about 164 branches. In many of my branches, there are, either the chairperson or managing committee members are the women. So in India, things are also happening, but definitely my once again compliments to Kimisha ji and Pramod bhai for bringing this particular global webinar where we can actually, motivate all my distinguished female chartered accountants. Thank you for having me here. And again, we all are eager to listen to our further, panelists. Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's a different kind of thrill to do something new. All the best, sir, for your endeavors. May this widow as a lucky charm that helps us health, joy and prosperity. Moving on to the next section on role of women in PAO development and strengthening the accounting profession by Ms. Elena Misita. Professor has already given us a lot about Elena ma'am, but to formally introduce her, she is a chair of IFAC PAO Development and Advisory Group, having been a member since January 2018, nominated by Union of Accountants, Auditors and Financial Workers of Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina. She is a member of the board of UAAFWFBH and also serves on various professional-focused boards, committees, and represents her country in international organizations. In March 2020, she became a member of the country in state-level Accounting and Auditing Commission of Bosnia and Herzegovina that is involved in regulation of the accounting profession, including education matters. For over 10 years, she has served as the CEO of Revicon, a company concerned with business consultancy, research, and development. With this brief introduction, I welcome Elena Misita to take over the session and guide our women members.
Thank you. I appreciate the kind introduction. Thank you for inviting me to the Women Members Empowerment Committee webinar. I'm touched, honored, and privileged to have the opportunity to be with you today. I will just ask Charmy, can you help me with presentation, please?
Maybe
is it okay now?
You can start. No, Shanu, it is not there. Shanu, whatever is there, you bring on the screen. By the time Madam speaks, then you try to have the full screen.
Yes, sir.
At least have that partial screen.
Okay.
Thank you, Prafula. Thank you, my friend. As a Federation of Professional Accountancy Organizations, or PAOs, IFAC membership has grown from the original 63 founding members to over 175 today in over 130 countries. We are the profession of more than 3 million people, represented by IFAC at a global level, as the voice of profession and crucial knowledge convener. Our global connectivity helps us to cope with the demand of our work. IFAC is keen to ensure diversity and inclusion across the entire profession. The global accountancy profession has traveled a long way on its remarkable. The global accountancy profession has traveled a long way on its remarkable journey toward greater female inclusion and increased overall diversity. However, the opportunities for women still vary greatly in different parts of the world. And while women today may have an increasing presence in the accountancy profession overall, advancing to the senior roles.
Excuse me, Shanu, please mute yourself.
Thank you, Kamisha. I would like to share some key areas that every business can benefit from by actioning a chance to internal diversity within their workforce. Gender diverse companies are 15% more likely to have a higher performance. Companies with equal men and women earn 41% higher revenue. Diverse teams are 87% better in making decisions. Diverse management boosts revenue by 90%. Diverse companies are 70% more likely to capture new markets. To attract women, you must hire a woman. 86% of women seek employers with diverse strategies. It's estimated the global GDP could increase by 28 trillion if the workforce become more gender diverse. Diversity and inclusivity in the accountancy profession is essential if we are going to access the best and brightest people throughout the entire pool of available talent. Research has shown that it is also critical for a smart and successful business strategy. It has been demonstrated time and again that teams comprised of the men and women of all races and socio-economic backgrounds think more creatively and implement the strategic solution to benefit their clients, their businesses, and the economy. The recent study shows that companies with diverse leadership are 70% more likely to capture a new market and 45% more likely to improve market share. Another study found that companies with the most diverse leadership enjoyed a 53% higher return on equity than companies with the least diverse leadership. Countries and industries that view gender diversity as important capture benefits from it. Those that don't, they just don't. Companies with more cultural acceptance of working women see more benefits from gender diversity. Those data suggested that for diversity to work, workers must buy into the value of diversity, not just hear rules about it. Regulatory support is beneficial, but not enough. Diversity creates positive benefits when people believe in intrinsic value. When I can speak to further as the representative of IFAC and the chair of the IFAC PAO Development and Advisory Group, it is the role of professional accountancy organization in closing the gender gap. It is very positive to see that Institute of Chartered Accountants of India commitment to this already. So some of what I may say could be repetitive, but hopefully it contributes to the future plans and may inspire others to return to their own organizations, firms, companies, and talk about the importance of closing the gender gap. The fifth slide, please. Thank you. I'm confident that we are familiar, and we are, with the Sustainable Development Goals, which I think it's great because the SDG 5s provide us a global goal to come together under this very important topic. And what's interesting is when I looked at description around Goal 5 on gender equality, they talk about the fact that it's a basic human right. And they also discuss that if countries get this goal right, it will have a multiplier effect across all development areas. So IFAC encourages professional accountancy organization to lead by example. But at the same time, we can't just pay lip service to it. We don't want to have just papers or regulations. Then talk about achieving gender balance, but we really want to empower women and be impactful. The next part of the presentation provides a tool and a roadmap targeted for PAOs given IFAC's membership, but could be for any organization. Using this roadmap will help organizations to create a plan to have a story to tell and illustrate that you are indeed taking action. The wonderful thing about IFA Global Membership is there are many places to find supporting resources. The roadmap here is actually drawn from IFAC member IACPA in the US, and they have developed a step-for-step roadmap for firms. I want to quickly run through the most important aspects of developing such a roadmap. Next slide, please. In the first instance, it's very important to develop your business case and use data. The underlying premise is clear. It is that women's advance is good for business. And don't forget that you will be working with accountants, and we love the facts. So for that reason, quantifying the advantages with national and regional data is very important. Get your council's buy-in because it is a council that will give you the financial and other support necessary to empower a women's organization that will be credible. And design a champion, someone who will be accountable for championing and progressing with this initiative. In my understanding, your organization already use these good practices. Next slide, please. We all know that we get measured gets done. And so it's really important to make sure that your initiatives is closely linked to your mission and strategy, and also that you communicate it widely. In my invitation for this event, the ICA has already clearly taken the right step in determining the percentage of the women amongst its membership and students. This will help in achieving any goals in terms of gender equality among its membership. For example, other data points to consider are proportion and percentage of women-men in the governance of the PO, proportion in percentage of women in the staffing of the PO. Let your members and stakeholders know about this initiative, and most importantly, highlight to them the benefits which you will have already developed in building your business case. Again, something else that ICA is already doing through this type of the event. And don't just go about it on your own. Make sure that you gather opinions, that you can engage with your own members, your old stakeholders. You might just be surprised as to perspectives they bring and help them see how their perspectives and insights have been taken into the account, and it's also getting their buy-in and commitment for the future. Next slide, please. We can all have a high-level aspirational goals, but it's important to put that into specific actions, to make sure that someone is responsible for taking this action, and also to have a clear timeline, and then to monitor your progress and make adjustment as needed, and more importantly, to really highlight it, to really use your success, to promote your initiative, and to raise awareness not amongst your own member and your stakeholders, but also in a marketplace. So from IFAC perspective, those are some high-level points that I can take into account when your organization is developing your roadmap. Next slide, please. A few final thoughts on this. First, there is important to include a man. If we talk about initiative aimed at diversity and inclusion, it will be a huge mistake to omit their experience and insights. There are many men organizations who are really already enablers for and support of the Great Women Initiative. By determining what drives them, what makes them different, and then to continue to seek out those individuals, and gender diversity initiative can progress much further. Secondly, in this matter of the culture and cultural norms, which I mentioned earlier, thank you. I do recognize that sometimes culture is deeply ingrained, and that it would take a very long time to change the culture. But here here are opportunities to innovate and to be courageous within culture, recognize one size does not fit all. For example, gender diversity initiatives could include a gradual return to work policy, flexible hours, mentorship, sponsoring exclusive leadership training, and in-office daycare. Coming together at national, regional, and global levels, where we can coordinate, collaborate, and exchange ideas for greater impact is certainly something to think about for the future. Final thought is start small. Keep it simple and maintain the momentum. Why, as we are sitting here today, I'm sure we all have grand goals and want to get started right away after this webinar with our roadmaps. But then we might get distracted by multiple emails we have received in the meantime. So really, let's look what is achievable, where we can start even those small actions and changes. Next slide, please. I have just said that IFAC encourages POs to lead by example. For IFAC to say this, we must also set a benchmark for ourselves and show our commitment to elevating women in leadership position. IFAC starts at the top with driving governance improvement. IFAC governance principles is that the best person for job should always be selected, and best person could be a man or woman. But what could happen if we are not always getting a female applicant? And if we are not getting them, then we are losing out on the opportunity to get the best talent. And a lot of the technical work talent can come in different shapes and sizes. It's very important to IFAC that the best person for the job means that sourcing source them from the best talent pool, which means having a diverse talent pool in the first instance. Next slide, please. I mentioned earlier about linking a diverse initiative to key goals at the PAO. At IFAC, the same approach is applied by having a strategy with very specific targets, very clear, measurable, and achievable outcomes, and with a reasonable time frame. IFAC measure how many female applicants receive, how many were selected to interview, and how many we get put on boards and committees. Sometimes it can take 2-3 years to achieve a particular milestone, but having the strategy in place has been essential. As a part of IFAC nomination process, IFAC includes a language that is strongly encourage female candidates for board and committee position. IFAC also invests a great deal of the time and effort to declare, explain, communicate, and broadly market this commitment to diversity. If you are not explicit about the fact that your priorities are for women, the women out there won't know that you are talking to them. And that was the lessons IFAC learned early on. To this effect, IFAC put in more effort to work with its staff, our volunteers, CEOs at the members' body, and help them understand that in some years it's a high priority for some of our boards and committees. Something else IFAC learned in developing our process was that it was essential to build in some timeline, a buffer of a week or so where extra outreach might be needed. Maybe somebody missed a deadline. Maybe somebody didn't have the confidence to think that they could do the work. And doing that outreach and building that buffer has paid dividends in receiving more female applicants. Next slide, please. A few more lessons that IFAC learned in ensuring it could successfully achieve gender equality on its board and committees. Look at what unique opportunities and action you as an organization must take. Quite often, women, more so than men, may be ready to commit to serving on board or committee. Whether it's because of the time commitment or perhaps they are at the point in their own careers where they actually got many responsibilities and are not clear about the trade-off. IFAC find opportunities to also have women serve as a technical advisors, observing projects or taking part in special projects. This way they are involved and provides them with experience, when they are ready to put forth an application for the full-time board or committee participation. Maintain a database of past applicants who maybe didn't fully meet the requirements of the specific board but are very accomplished. And maintaining the kind of database is very essential because it's important for applicants who often can feel a loss of confidence when they don't get selected for the first time to know there could be future opportunities. As a global organization, IFAC has a travel subsidy program for volunteers from emerging and developing nations. But this may be something your organization can consider. Participation in a board or committee can be expensive, and IFAC did not want top talent to be missed because of the financial hardship. Look outside the profession to enhance diversity of perspective and experience. If you know senior leaders or technical leaders, they might be academics, they might be in the legal profession, they might be educators or regulators. This is another way that you can help your country by looking at the woman outside the core of your profession and seeing if there are an opportunity for them to participate. Next slide, please. Oh, I'm really glad that we can share this picture. It was almost unimaginable in 1977 when IFAC was established. Today, we can point to two highly visible, strong, and effective female leaders and many levels of our profession. The global profession itself has been led by two IFAC presidents, and IFAC continues to take a conscious step to advance women leaders across the profession. Next slide, please. This is the IFAC board today. IFAC reached a major milestone, one that we are very proud of. For the first time in IFAC history, we have a majority female board, 57% female. We share this accomplishment with our member organization, who helped us achieve it by making gender diversity a priority in their regions and nominating top female talent to serve at the global level. On the advisory group, which I'm chair of, we continue our efforts toward gender equality. And I'm so proud that both the current chair and the deputy chair are women leaders driving the agenda and objective of the advisory group. We will continue advocating for gender equality in accountancy, finance, and business leadership role, as well continue encouraging our member organization to champion diversity and gender equality. Next slide, please. The end of my portion on IFAC. I always must mention the wealth of great resources and articles available on IFAC Global Knowledge Gateway. You can find several articles that are highlighting the importance of gender diversity in accountancy profession. It's been really my pleasure. Thank you for having me today, and thank you for your attention.
Start where you are with what you have and do what you can do. The rest will follow. Thank you, madam, for inspiring hope, ignite the imagination of our partners. On a lighter note, our webcast is being viewed from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, Gujarat to Assam, and also worldwide like Sharjah, Virginia, US, Miami, New Zealand, Kuwait, Sri Lanka, and the list goes on. So now continuing our session, moving on to the next session on various capacity building initiatives for women members and Safa perspectives by Ms. Maria Hulager. To formally introduce her, Ms. Maria is currently serving as Vice President of ICAB and has been working for different standing and non-standing committee of ICAB for many years. She is the chairperson of Women Leadership Committee in Safa. She is the chairperson and Information and Communication Technology Committee and Women Member Empowerment and Leadership Development Committee of ICAB. She is also a chairperson of the project development and implementation of audit practice software for CA firms. Ms. Maria is the founder and CEO of Holdauer Maria and Company Chartered Accountants, which is an independent member firm of TGS Global. She has been serving Bangladesh audit, accounting, tax, and advisory practice since 2008. She is also the founder of Holdauer Maria and Company BPO, Your Cloud Accountant. She is also serving as an independent director of Board of Directors of Dhaka Mass Transit Company Limited. She is also engaged in various charitable activities. So with this brief introduction, I welcome Ms. Maria Brander, Madam, to take over the session.
Thank you, Charmy. It's a nice presentation of us from you. So, Honorable President C.A. Nihar and Jambacharya, Honorable Vice President Debasis Mitra of ICAI, Chairperson Women Members Empowerment Committee ICI, CA Kamisha Soni, my dear friend, and CA Pramod Jain, Vice Chairperson Women Members Empowerment Committee, CA Prafulla Chajet, Chairman, Executive Committee on WCOA IFAC, my dear talented session speakers here, very good morning, afternoon to all of you. I'm delighted to be present here as a session speaker on such a special topic regarding capacity building initiatives for women members and Safa perspective. To introduce me as a brief, I am Maria Hauladar. I am the Vice President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Bangladesh, and as you know, I am the Chairperson of Safa Women Leadership Committee. Besides that, I am also running my own business as an entrepreneur. I have CA firms, which already mentioned. So I'd like to go a little different way regarding capacity building today. The world is changing fast, and so the role of professional accountants, we women are not behind this. Like every profession, accountancy also emerging from COVID-19 changed. We have become accustomed to digital process we once thought impossible. Our change management abilities is sharper than ever. Right now, we as the accountancy profession have the opportunity to transform for the benefit of business, government, and society. It is also a critical moment for the profession to nurture existing talent and attract new talent. We must achieve this progress collectively with clear and measurable goals. Entities navigated urgent digital transformation, workforce continuity, and quite simply how to stay operational. Leaders turn to accountants. Healthcare workers are on the front lines of saving lives, and where our professional accountants, our members, are on the front lines of savings livelihoods. Because of this, the profession has benefited in important ways. The profession has been able to defend its relevance to governments and citizens during the time. Business have a renewed sense of the value accountants bring to their long-term success, and cooperation with regulators is also evolving, for many striving for better harmony and balance with regulators to ensure smarter and more strategic regulation is critical moving forward. Overall, this crisis has presented profound challenges, but also an opportunity for the profession and for all, not only for women, not only for men, women both, to build on its strong foundations, evolve the skills of its members, and become even more central to a high-functioning society. Before the pandemic, I want to say most small and medium-sized practices used to say technology was affecting traditional accounting roles. Post-pandemic, however, digital skills and capabilities have become more like table stakes. As remote work became routine and online client services quickly advanced, one accountant said, digital transformation, the future became yesterday. The profession is now even more acutely focused on skills that enable stronger relationship with clients, better interdisciplinary collaboration, and increased resiliency and flexibility. In fact, when asked what skills have emerged during the pandemic, the response is unanimous. Definitely change management. The ability to anticipate, respond to, and adapt to changes is essential now. Across the board, firms are shifting focus from outdated inputs such as hours logged in the office towards high-value outputs. Accountants today have to show up as true strategic partners, problem solvers, and change agents. To remain relevant, accountants can't just produce numbers. They are being called to tell the larger story behind the numbers and help solve social needs in the process. It is impossible to talk about skills without looking at future generations. The education system is in crisis, and curriculums are slow to evolve. Yet, equipping students with the right skill is paramount to the profession's future. Accountancy is competing with other business disciplines as well. It is clear that the professions that invest now are going to come out of the pandemic with a competitive advantage. For accounting programs, specifically, that may mean homing in on the more integrated and impactful aspects of the profession and specific skills that will empower accountants to change the future of the business. So my understanding is emphasizing soft skills training is another. This is a pivotal moment. Accountants are key partner at any point in the lifetime of an organization, and now we have the chance to prove it. Educating and mentoring the next generation will ensure the legacy of accounting not only continues but become even more essential. Financial literacy also another area where we need to increase our focus. So therefore, claiming a new place in society for both men and women, this is enabling transformation through skills and investing in the next generation. These three areas is the talk of the world now. How we can move forward together. As a chairperson of Safa, I'd like to mention here that, Safa is an apex body of South Asia Asian Association of Regional Cooperation, SAARC. Safa Women Leadership Committee was formed with a view to discuss policies and initiatives for developments of women members in the SAARC region. There are two aspects, you can say objective maybe, of the committee. Development of women members and of course encouraging girls for choosing accounting profession. This year, we are focused on increasing more women in the boardroom, greater equality in legislative rights, and an increased mass of women's visibility, and enhancing skill program, more active participation as impressive role models in every aspect of a life, which we want to achieve this year. As I mentioned, all our futures are increasingly linked to the challenges of the global community. Digitalization of communication is playing one of the main roles here. Our members need a set of relevant skills and knowledge to make them globally relevant. Professional accounting bodies globally have the important mandate of representing, promoting, and enhancing the global accountancy profession. From Safa, we also are keen to work on this area. Our members need to be attached with the global professional accounting bodies to make their knowledge and skill equivalent to the global standards. Among Safa, global job market is also important to present an accountant globally recognized. Being the chairperson of Women Committee of ICAB, ICAB is taking some initiatives regarding the development and empowerment of women. We inspire and empower female chartered accountants for faster career development, work towards the improvement of employment and professional equality for female CA professionals, provide focused networking platform both within and beyond ICAB for personal and professional development. Nurture and retain women through mentoring, coaching, and shadowing, organizing and ensure need-based training for skills and competencies development. This year, ICAB has taken special initiative considering the situation of COVID-19. And among all the initiatives, one of the highest priority is strengthening leadership leadership of the women member of ICAB, women skill enhancement, basically training and skill development of all women, and also initiating entrepreneurship program. We have launched a separate CA Women portal for ICAB. We are having networking programs and compilation of gender policy for CA firms, mentorship program guidelines for women article students. From Safa, I think we can move with some initiatives for capacity buildings among Safa regions. As I mentioned, identifying and share good practices, challenges, experiences, and lessons learned from work on capacity building by professional bodies established under the convention. Foster a sense of ownership and empowerment so that professional community can gain greater control over the future development. Fostering regional, national, and sub-national cooperation. We want to focus on sharing skill training program among our Safa members. Capacity building initiatives for an individual include training. This year actually I would like to focus mostly on skill training because this is the time where I believe our women members need to come forward and need to develop, need to be expertise on different new skills and different new services and expertise. Skill enhancement development training on the specialized area and practical training for expertise on topics like automation, cybersecurity, digitalization, blockchain, cloud computing, on which Safa can work together with among its members. There is another issue, soft skills training, change management. The ability to anticipate, respond to, and adapt to change is essential. So change management and sharp communication is a requirement of time now. Our women members can also focus on scenario planning, storytelling, and upscaling. Lastly, I would say, for capacity building initiatives among Safa, we can conduct skill training to share the knowledge of skills among Safa countries. We can initiate finance for non-finance program for digital transformation related skills, which will add great value at a length. Women members have to be ready. If we take the lessons learned these past months and commit to sharpening the skills, that will keep the industry relevant across stakeholders groups, geographies, and generation. Today's women members will be ready to lead everywhere. This is the work of women member is not now a challenge because they can work from anywhere. So this is another opportunities for the women. Various new service line is opening for the women. Especially, they can do any special consultation. They can work from home as as individual consultant on, they can be a cloud accountant in any time, from anywhere, for any hour, if they want. What we need for them and what we can move together, that is, we need to work on skill training and skill enhancement where required, and what is the requirement of the new pandemic situation, what is the requirement of current situation of the world. Thank you everyone for being with me.
Thank you, Madam. Please accept our vehement protestation of gratitude. Madam, in India, it is said, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tatsmai Shri Guru Deva Nama, which means that Guru, that is teacher, leads to the path of life and we bow to that Guru. Thus, a realized soul of Guru is the real embodiment of Para Brahma, the ultimate God. So, you have indeed been Guru and guided our members widely today. Thank you, ma'am. Every woman is born to excel, and in today's webcast, we experience such wonderful, powerful, practical keys that will unlock the golden potential that resides within each woman. Together, we have embarked on a journey to explore the lives of various outstanding women in their respective fields. As the cart cannot move without its two wheels, the Women Member Empowerment Committee also cannot move without its chairman and vice chairman. As the technical glitches, before we could not introduce Pramod Jain himself. He is the chairman of International Taxation Committee and Taxation Audit Quality Review Board and vice chairman of MSME Startup. He is also an author of various articles and journals of company law, audit, etc. With this brief introduction, I request Pramod sir to give the concluding remarks.
Chami. Friends, before concluding, let us take one small question. I suppose we have received a few questions, but let us have one question each from all the four. I would say 5 panelists, 4 panelists plus our past president. So we'll have a question with each of them. So first question, my first question is to Satsuki. According to you, what is the accountancy? Why is the accountancy profession well suited for women professionals?
Could you repeat that question again, please?
According to you, why is the accountancy profession well suited for women professionals?
Oh, okay. Yes. We usually discuss this within our women members that to become a CPA, and if you get qualified and have the license, even when you stop at a point in time in your life to have responsibilities for your family and stop working for a while, you can always return. So, of course, you always need to keep up your skills. But in this era of longevity, where you might be working for a very long time, it is a very good profession for women. That is our understanding.
Okay. Thank you very much. My next question is to Jill. Ask training programs for women members, only for women members, and if it is so why it is only for women members, not for male members? You're not audible, please. Please unmute.
I'm so sorry. In the Philippines, it's interestingly, when we first started having this Women Member Empowerment Committee, and we had a very, very great program last year. It was a huge success. We tagged it as First PICPA Women Summit, but I tell you, that program was open to all. So there were men who attended that first PICPA Women's Summit. So my opening remarks was like so much things to be grateful for, because this event was attended by men who love women as well. So the trainings in PICPA are not really for women. We just tag it as Women's Summit or a women program, but it's open to all. So advocates of women empowerment who are men leaders in PICPA ICPA were also attending.
That's good. That's great. My next question is to Jelena. What are the various capacity building initiatives undertaken by the POs globally, and are they different for women members globally? What is there?
We are talking in general. Thank you for your question. You are asking me generally about capacity building programs because they are so diverse around the world, and they are empowering women as well. But they are so different. But maybe I can just share a couple of examples. Now there is some programs which are basically focused on key competencies in the future, and to make things, this new world, we need, my basic message is that, the lessons learned from those programs, that we need to understand this new world, like we understand the accounting. So, but there are a lot of capacity building programs which are focused on developing key competencies for the future. So when I say that new world, I can talk about, just mention briefly, it's a data quality, data analytics, business intelligence, data modeling, governance. And, we know that accountancy is not profession operating in a static world, and the skills learned have to reflect an equal measure of agility. So there is a clear need for well-rounded skill set that combines the technical skills and professional skills that are rooted in relationship building and communication. So I just share one example. There are so many projects about reskilling, upskilling, focusing on the relevant competencies and providing assistance to professionals to be ready to lead in this new reality. Thank you so much.
My next question is to Maria. How has the current pandemic situation changed the perspective vis-a-vis the type of capacity building initiative undertaken for the members? Please unmute yourself. Maria, you're not audible.
So, for today's uncertain and changing environment, actually, members are facing new challenges for practices and also in the service as well. So, capacity building initiatives, I would like to focus on individual training capacity, individual skill enhancement capacity, competence capacity. That is in fact, the requirement of time now, because you can work, even men or women, whoever, you can work from anywhere, but what you need to focus on just to build your new skills, like which has been driven by technology, change of technology, and that is I already mentioned, the cybersecurity, data analytics, artificial intelligence, blockchain, cloud accounting. Though cloud accounting already many people are working on that, but still I think this is the time where this technology-driven service and work we need to focus on, and the members should be skilled on this. Yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot, Maya. One suggestion has been received from one of the members, just to share that if the women portal which we have, it has a link for the firms who are open to form network firms as per the new guidelines. We'll be surely considering that in our committee. Now, my last question to my president, and this is a bit different question, I would say, because lots of members have been having that in their mind, and that question has been received from one of the members, regarding the financial assistance. They say that initiative for the members from the institutes are very welcome. But are there any financial assistance measures for the needy members by the institute? Can actually institute being an act of parliament regulated through the act can have any financial assistance measures by the institute itself? CABF President sir, over to you.
Thank you so much. And I think in the council also we were being deliberating this particular agenda for last 2 years. And definitely in terms of, now where every member is facing a lot of problems, especially the young members, sometimes they need that financial assistance. So again, we should take up with the MCA, because ultimately we as the ICI comes under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. I'm quite sure that our President sir will take up this matter, and for the benefit of members, whatever we can do, and I can tell all the members, including the female members, that whatever possible to the best extent in terms of, reducing the fees for all our certificate courses, giving the 1,50,000 rupees for COVID affected families. Also, there is a lot of support from the CABF which is coming up. And I can talk on behalf of the entire council that we are all committed. Whatever best we will be able to do, sure. And we will also try to...
আমাদের শুধু ওই লাইফ সেভিংস কিন্তু আছে যেটা আমরা
others should keep themselves mute please
বাকি বেশিরভাগ
So surely as a ICI and even taking clue from the other global bodies also, we are just examining in PODG also as a member. I'll just try to find out what other countries are helping their members in pandemic situation in terms of the financial assistance, and definitely Pramod bhai, along with you, Kimisha ji, and everybody's support, will reach out to the members. And I must place on record my sincere thanks to the all three layers of the ICI, Central Council, Regional Council, and even the branches, that whatever small efforts they are trying to reach out to our members. So members, ICI belongs to all of you equally. It is just we are there, your representatives. We will try our best to do everything. Thank you so much, Pramod bhai.
Sir, I would like to add in one line with Praful sir, that we have also committee for members in practice. Through that committee, we are also providing software related facilities through our MRAs, through our MOUs also, software, insurance, and so many other things related to office management and practice management. Through that committee, we are providing these facilities to our members. And also secondly, technical and academical support and technical material, day-to-day practice which are related to our office. So that is also Institute is providing. So for new practitioners and young members and for female members, definitely that all facility will be useful for everybody. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
And I think in the end, I will follow members to start a new network guideline, because coming together can definitely enhance their capacities in terms of financial protections. Thank you.
Very right. Thank you, President sir. We'll surely taking that up, and really thanks to each and every first of all participant, I would say, because we have overstretched by around 30 minutes and you have still stayed with us. Around 1,000 members have participated today, and really thank in absentia our Honorable President and Vice President who joined to share their views with all the members throughout the world, and our past President Praful Chhajedji, all the four speakers Satsuki, Jill, Jelina, and Maria, our moderator for today, excellent Charmi, our secretariat, both Shanuji and Ruchi, and last but not the least, our chairperson Kimi, who has been working day and night to really empower our women members through various initiatives, and really thanks a lot to Kimisha Ben and everyone. And at the end, in this pandemic, I request each and everyone to remain safe, healthy, happy, and most importantly, remain positive. The positivity, because lot of things are happening, but if you remain positive, that is the only way you can come out. So please remain positive and take care and get vaccinated as early as possible. Thanks to each and everyone for taking out your time and addressing the members throughout the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for joining us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone.
It can be my
Thank
pleasure.
you, everyone. Stay safe, stay healthy.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Take care. Bye bye.
God bless. Bye.
Bye.